Hello my lovelies, welcome back to another video. As you saw by the title, we are going through my top 5 books from this year that I have read. A lot of these aren't 5 stars, I just loved them and I thought they were really memorable. But I do have 2 5 stars, 3 5 stars here. Either way, I still absolutely loved them. So let's get straight into the video. I am going to start off with this big chunky one. Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home. I read Magnolia Parks and then Daisy Hates. I read them a long time ago. I didn't enjoy them as much as I wanted to because they were really, really popular. And a lot of people were like, 5 stars, 5 stars. I know that Sarah Caroli absolutely loves this series. So I was like, I want to know what the hype is. And then I read this one. Actually, I listened to most of it on audiobook because it's chunky and I was doing a lot of things. Like I was traveling to my friends who lives all the way down in Bournemouth, and I thought it'd be nice to listen to in the car, and the audiobook on Spotify was amazing. Like I totally recommend it. It was dual cast, so every character had like their own sort of voice, and it was so good. So good. I loved BJ in this. I loved Magnolia. I thought their relationship is just a mess, obviously, but it's so realistic, and I love that. I don't know why, but I thought the characters as well, like I thought the relationship between the characters was just so well done. There was so much chemistry, is basically what I was saying, and I love a good book that has a lot of chemistry involved in the characters because it makes the plot more enjoyable, if you get what I mean. Anyway, I absolutely adored this. I thought it was so good. The audiobook was brilliant. And despite it being so chunky, I got through this in, I think, just less than a week because I was listening to it all the time. All the time I was playing games, listening to it. I couldn't stop. So good. My next one I'm going to do, this wasn't a 5 star. I think this was a 4.5, if I remember correctly, and very, very underrated. Masters of Death. I picked this copy up in America because I had been seeing it everywhere and I had been wanting to get it for so long, and I had my dollaroos on me. So I was like, why don't I treat myself and get the American version? And it is gorgeous. Like, it's bland on the outside, but on the inside, oh my god. Oh. And then there are like tarot card pictures all the way through, and they are beautiful. I love this book. Like, it was, the whole book itself was gorgeous. I don't know how to explain it. So if you haven't heard of this or read this, because I don't think this is a very popular one on BookTok or Bookstagram, this is basically a story that revolves around the afterlife people, if you know what I mean. So we've got the main character who's trying to sell this haunted house, and she can see ghosts, and she becomes friends with this ghost. And the ghost wants to leave. He doesn't want to be in this house anymore. He wants to leave. So she calls for help. Who, I can't remember what his name, I think he's just called an immortal or something, but his name's Fox, and his godfather, I think it's his godfather, is Death himself. And so only he can talk to him and see him and whatever. So he calls Death's help, and Death is like, I'm not doing this anymore. But he comes anyway to try and remove this ghost. Anyway, so the rest of the whole lot comes along. There's an angel, there's a Grim Reaper, I think there's another angel. And they all basically have to try and get this ghost out of the house and work together. And the chemistry between all of the characters, oh, it's just so good. Like the banter, the talking. So there's also this game that they're not allowed to play, or like only the immortals play, as it says on the back. And there's only one rule, and just don't lose. And some people have been banned from it, some people can't play it, and that's sort of the main. I feel like there's two main plots, because the main plot is trying to get the ghost out, and then the other plot is trying to play the game but also not play the game. Either way, it's so good. If it sounds like your type of thing, go and read this. You will not regret it. I will say one thing though, the writing is tiny and the writing is very sophisticated. So it took me a long time to read this because it was very sophisticated and it felt very historical. Like the prose felt very historical. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like your usual writing. And I love this. I might have to check out some more of her books because I really enjoyed her writing in this. And if her writing is very similar in her other ones, I might have to give them a go. So I gave this a 4.5 because I loved the prose. I thought the historical sort of vibes that I got, like it's a gothic book, basically. And I love the whole idea of the afterlife that they had in here. I love the whole idea of like having Grim Reaper as a character, Death as a character. It is very, very character driven. So there's not much description like about the world or about different scenes and settings. It's very, very character driven, which I love. It keeps me engaged. I'm very character prone, if that makes sense. Like I'm prone to loving characters more than scene setting and scene describing. So that could explain why I love this. And I am so grateful that I did because I love that edition. It's so good. So that was my second favourite book of this year. It was just so unique and I really, really liked that. The third favourite of this year, I read the Twisted series, and you can't read the Twisted series without having a favourite. So my favourite was Twisted Lies because holy moly, Christian Harper, from like the second book, when I saw him, instantly I could not wait to get to this one. I couldn't wait. He's so even just like the plot, I love this trope. It's the same with Twisted Hate. I love the enemies to lovers. I love that, which I obviously love that one, but I think if I was to choose a favourite, it would have to be Twisted Lies. The chemistry was there. The scenes were there. It was great. And everything sort of wrapped up in this one. The only issue I did have, I think, what did I give this? I think I gave this a 4-star. It was going to be like a 4.5, but the ending was like a really cliche ending. If you know me by now, I'm going to have to do a whole video on this, but I hate certain endings. And this had it. And I was like, if you've read this, you know. If I just like ignore that bit of the end, this was definitely a favourite for sure. But yeah, I love the romance. I love the characters. The chemistry was there. Again, I just love this whole series because the characters come together so nicely. Like they fit like a jigsaw, if that makes sense. And I really, really enjoyed that. It was sort of like a whole Sex and the City type vibe, with all the girls coming together and having their own like boy things, you know. So this was my third favourite of the year. This was a 4-star. I would recommend reading this series if you haven't, because it's delicious. It's very, very yummy. Then I read, I'm a sucker for a gay romance. I really am. I don't know, there's something about them. The chemistry between the guys are always so there. You know, the chemistry is always there. It's always peak. It's always so good. So I read Pole Position. This was something I found in Waterstones in my London book shopping vlog. I just found it on the shelf and I was like, ooh, gay, F1. Love, okay. So I have not had good experiences with F1 books. If you have been here for a hot minute, you will know. I do not talk about or associate myself with the Dirty Air series because I did not get along with that. So I wanted to try a new F1 book and see how this goes. And I'm so grateful I did, because Rebecca knew her F1 stuff. She did her research, and there wasn't just... because I also listened to an audiobook that I got off of NetGalley, and it was Too Hot to Handle and that was also an F1 book. But F1 was mentioned twice, and it wasn't even a thing, and it disappointed me so much. But the F1 in this wasn't just like casted aside, it was like an actual thing, you know? Like there was chemistry between the two, off track and then on track. And when they were on track, things got heated so quick and it was so entertaining. So it was like, even if the romance wasn't being shown, there was still things going on in the F1 track that kept you entertained. It was so good. It was just perfect in my opinion, and I think the adrenaline of having a really good F1 book that was actually revolved around F1 being so good, I think the adrenaline hit so much after this that I was like 5 stars, amazing. And the chemistry between the two guys was so sweet. Like it was so sweet. I don't even know how to explain it. You've got Grumpy and Sunshine basically moment going on, and they couldn't really be together because you're on you're on the F1, you can't really be doing things like that. So they struggled quite a bit, especially the Grumpy one, but it worked out well in the end and it was totally worth it. If you want a summary of this, I can't remember which one it was. I was really struggling to picture which one. One of these guys, I think it's him. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. His partner basically got into an accident and he wasn't able to race in one of the championships. So he then got put with this guy or this guy. They got put with one or the other. And the grumpy one was like, I don't want this, obviously. And the other guy was like, come on, let's just go have some fun. Let's go have some drinks. And he's like, I can't be doing this. I need to do yoga in the morning. Like, I can't be going out for drinks. And it was just so funny because watching the grumpy one slowly like lean into like actually enjoying having the other one on track was really nice to see. I thought it was really smooth. It was just flowing really well, and yeah, it just worked so great. So that is the plot of Pole Position. Totally recommend. This is the 4th favourite of the year. And then the final favourite of this year is another 5-star, Belladonna. I ate this up. If any of you liked Gallant by V.E. Schwab, you will love Belladonna. It's basically the same story, but better. So much better. Like, even the prose is very similar to her writing. I don't even know how to explain this. I feel like everyone has read this by now, but if you haven't, it's basically about a girl. I think she's 19, and I was really shocked because that's my age, and she's doing things like this. She can basically see death, and it's a love story that is basically between them, if that makes sense. There is sort of like a love triangle going on, sort of, which was really delicious, but the ending, holy moly. If you want to watch me read this or listen to the audiobook, because I listened to the audiobook for most of it, go watch my video. I'll just stick like a little thumbnail picture there for you, because it is honestly, the plot twist at the end got me absolutely speechless. My jaw was on the floor for so long that I had to cut half of it out of the video because I couldn't just have like 20 minutes of my jaw on the floor. That wouldn't be very interesting. But it really didn't, I didn't see it coming. It was crazy. And I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I was on the bus listening to this with the traffic going on because, oh my God, the traffic has been awful. It has been awful recently. So I had my audiobook going on. It was so good. It's a gothic romance, sort of, where Signa goes to a mansion where her family sort of live, and she basically stays there for a long time. I don't want to say too much because I feel like I will spoil it, but highly recommend. And the plot twist was insane. I loved all of the characters, which is crazy because a few of them are bad, and I just thought they did that really well. I thought the storyline was really well paced. There wasn't a single moment where I got bored. The audiobook especially, I will just say, if you do want to listen to it on Spotify, it is a 1-person cast, but she speaks and changes her range of voice so well that each character feels like a different person and actually feels like a character, and she's not just reading to you like a mum would. You know, I hate it when they just read to you like you're a baby. She actually changes her vocal range. So when she does a guy's voice, it doesn't sound bad. It's actually pretty good. And she made death just so delicious. I I loved Death in this. He was yummy. So yummy. I'm actually sad that he's not real. I cannot wait to get to the next one. I think the next one's Foxglove. I can't wait. I still feel like I'm having a book hangover from this. I've read 2 books since this and I just can't stop thinking about it. Whoever has given this a 1 star, I would like to know your reasoning, because there's no way. There's no way. No way. 100% my last favourite of the year was this, and we left on a bang. I know the year hasn't ended yet, but I thought I would just do this video because we are close to the end now, and from my TBR cart, I don't know if I will have another favourite of the year. So, okay, this is my stack altogether. If you have read any of these, I would love to know your opinion on them in the comments down below, and we can have a chat, because I would just love to know if any of you agreed or found the same thing or didn't like any of these. I would love to know. Yeah, that is my stack. It's very heavy. I'm gonna put it down now before it falls. She says as it falls. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and do subscribe if you want to see any more bookish videos, because I have so many more planned for the rest of the year, and I do try and upload weekly. I am really busy with uni work at the moment and other things going on, so I might not upload every week, but I do try. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video. Bye!